Hello friends, Jennifer Pearson here, this old gypsy, and doing the, what is it, I think this is 7 guides, so this is kind of the second, let me tilt that a little bit, the Oracle version of the Council of 7, and she called it 7 guides, and I would say this is more my counsel. As I mentioned on the tarot version, that was a little difficult, a little forced for me, because if I were just had of decks, a council of decks, I would probably have chosen maybe one, just the Rider-Waite-Smith Centennial, and then I would have had a bunch of oracles. And so, you know, I think oracles are just something that I'm even though I have a ton of tarot decks and I enjoy using them and I definitely see the utility of them. And they're what people expect when they get a quote-unquote tarot reading. You know, they don't want necessarily oracle cards. And some of them are limited in the number of, in the number of cards in the deck, and maybe what they're talking about might be very oriented to something specific. So I can see why that could be problematic, but I'm really more of an oracle gal. Truth be told. So the first one that came to mind, I can get it out now, when I thought of a council member, was the Shaman's Oracle. Now this I can't read intuitively. I can't read these cave paintings, as cool as they are. I can't read them intuitively. But I do like what the combination of the image and what it says. Sorry about all the glare in the guidebook. I mean, how could you not love a card like that? And so, again, I'm going to keep it more kind of on the council end of things. You know, guide, counselor, whatever. This is what keeps me, oddly enough, because these don't look like very realistic images, helps me orient in terms of reality is kind of what has happened. How I have used this deck is when certain synchronicities are going on, it's like, what's going on here? And I come to this deck and I say, what's going on here? And it gives me something to just sort of, doesn't even necessarily ground me. It's kind of like, this is what's going on in the ether. This is what surrounds you in kind of the more mystical end of things. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, there's some weird stuff going on, and no, you're not going to escape it, but this is the nature of it. And since this is kind of a reassuring deck, the idea is that each of these are supporting you as you go through something. You know, that is helpful. You know, it says, yes, you're going through some weird stuff, but it's going to be okay. We're here, and we know it's weird, and the weirdness is things other people have gone through, and it's all right. The other is my old tried and true medicine cards, and again, I don't use them very much anymore. But if I am feeling the need to sort of get oriented, and I think another thing is that when I think of these, I think nothing has really taken their place. There's nothing that has taken their place. I could still easily use them. You know, have I gotten fascinated with the variety that's available out there once I became aware of it after so many years of just using this? And yes, I keep it in a plastic bag. Nothing else do I keep in a plastic bag. But these I do, which means that they are precious to me. So I haven't used them very much, but when I think of what I have used them for, like doing a yearly draw with one card per month. Nobody really tops that deck for me. Even if I'm trying to get a fix on where I'm at in terms of my work or my, I usually do a 5-card draw with that deck. My work or a relationship or something, if I pull 5 cards, it just gives me a good picture. So, it gives me good perspective. It's like not even a compass, it's like a map. That 5 cards is like a map. This is where you're at. So the other one, so we're on the third one, that I think I just couldn't not have at my side, is the Faeries. Brian Froud's Faeries. Now, I don't even know. So I recently did a reading, and guess who came up for me? The Topsy Turvets. Oddly, despite what many people say, although I get the Challenger cards that come up, the unpleasant fae that come up in this deck is not unkind to me. Can it kick ass? Yes, it can. It can kick you. But I would say that, again, this deck is not unkind to me. It has a friendly vibe, even if it can be a stern friend. But it's this kind of a friend that's like, stick her tongue out at you. And I guess maybe that's my kind of a friend. I don't know. So maybe this is I would say the friend, excuse me, the friend from another world on the council. This is the friend from another world that kind of trounces in and does his or her own thing. And it just always has, to me, just has valuable things to say when I consult. Even if I don't fully understand it, somehow being taken to that place is healthy. Just sort of gives me another orientation. So another person who provides just a different perspective. And really, I think of this kind of like the Shaman's Oracle is in fact a deck of guides. This is a deck of guides. So it's just a matter of whichever one happens to pop out of Fairyland and to give me some clues. So where are we? And I'm going to cheat on this one. So that's only 3. Oh my gosh. Only 3. I need to step it up. We'll do the next one. Shall I do the other oldie? I'll do the other oldie but goodie. And I saw that these are available again, and mine are really yellowed, so I might get a new set of these. It's the little itty bitty angel cards. And again, I don't use them, but it's like lately I haven't used them. And yet their effectiveness, it has not worn off, I think, at all. When I do pull them out, they're very in tune. If I were to start doing a, card a day, and I think this is the only deck I've ever done pulled like a card a day. it would be these angel cards. And what I used to do is I would pull 3 and just set them in here. And whether for the day or for a week or something like that. And I actually recently, the reason it came to mind real immediately is I recently was thinking, as I had a question about how to track my spending, and I thought, I need to go to the angel cards and pull 3 cards. And the weird thing is that when and it just got me thinking about pulling cards on it, and I went to other decks that I thought would be more practical, and then I forgot about this, and I didn't pull these, so I might do it. I think I'm going to do a video about that process, and maybe at that point I'll pull from the angel cards and see what they have to say, their sage wisdom, because it's usually very direct, and the other decks were not giving me very direct. So next, anybody who's been on my channel for a long time, the surrender cards. And this is the person that tells me to chill, to let it go, because that's what it's about. Surrender your ego. Surrender defensiveness. It tells you what to let go of. Surrender unhealthy relationships. Surrender procrastination. Surrender to miracles. So, as you can see, it's not necessarily, the images really have nothing to do with the message particularly. Surrender the idea that you can fix someone. So it's not necessarily light, but again, it just kind of reorients me. And I do really need, I'm an idea generator, and so this can help me realize what I need to let go of, how I'm building stuff up on me, how I'm taking on too much without even realizing it or thinking about it. This is how you need to let go. Yeah, just do it. Just do it, Jennifer, the one you've got in your hand. And that is a Lenormand deck. It's the Enchanted Lenormand, right? Lenormand's an oracle, and all I could think of is, well, I have to have a Lenormand in there. And this is the person who gives me a big picture, because that's what I like to do. I like to do the grand tableau with my Lenormand. And nothing else quite does that. And so it's kind of like, you know, the medicine cards give me kind of that. So this is like I usually say the telescope, and then the Shaman's Oracle is more like the microscope, you know, what's happening right now, and the medicine cards again are kind of like a map. I think it was the medicine cards I said for a map. But yeah, I didn't really show these, you know, they're just a little deck of Lenormands. Very cute. The cardstock is so stiff on these that I am thinking of getting a different Lenormand, but I do love this one. It's just really hard to shuffle for me. All right, so practical purposes. So I'm going to go over, I'm going to have 8 here. And I thought about, at first I was thinking, oh, I have to have a goddess deck, I have to have a god deck. And I thought, you know what, but I don't use them that much. I do like to have them, and they are more what I would think of as, well, I don't know that they're a guide. Yeah, I don't know what, I wouldn't want to not have them, but I don't feel the need to consult them. Let's just say that. I think they have a purpose, but it's not to consult. So, the second to last is my National Geographics. extraordinary earth cards. Not intended for divination at all. And this is the doctor. The doctor, I could say the naturopath, right? Because this deck has been really interesting when I ask it physical health questions. It has been really interesting in the messages that it's given. So of all of my, because there's a whole bunch of these National Geographic picture cards, and they have very stiff. In fact, if you go on Amazon and you look, some people complain, well, I can't use these like a deck, they're too stiff. But this is the only one of those that I have that I can really get a reading out of, and it has to do with my health when I do. And so I really value it for that. You know, a tooth, right? A bone spur, whatever. Or part of a glacier, you know. Anyway, gas, bubbles. Anyway, so yeah. So I thought, yeah, this ends up being the doctor of my counsel. And another thing that's not so great about these is that the box is a tuck box. It's really tight. Barely fit in there. The last one, I believe, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, maybe I've gone even further. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope. This is the Crazy Sexy Love Notes, which you don't see on my channel very much anymore. I think at one time I did use them on occasion. But that's because what I decided to do was, you see this little doodad here, a little plastic thing? I put one of the cards in one of these. I think I have them in this, and I have them in these little magnetic sleeves. So I could put it on the refrigerator. Down below me there's a little metal filing cabinet, and so that little thing about my body, because I was doing yoga down there, that's there. So I have these little cards. I use them around the house to remind me of things that I want to focus on. So I think I have them in 3 or 4 different places, and so I use them not randomly to pick a card, but I go through them and I decide what's important to me at the moment, what I want to focus on. It isn't even what I want to focus on, it's what I want to be reminded of. You know, I'm not focusing on play. I want to be reminded to be playful. So yeah, they're just lovely colors, simple sentiments. You know, there's something childlike about them, and I think that's helpful too. So this is my little balm for the soul. This is my little pixie dust deck. It does have, you know, it does have some serious messages. Stop comparing. But, you know, make waves. There's just a joyfulness to it. So that's why I say it's pixie. A little pixie comes dancing into the council. And, you know, dashes a little pixie dust. Gets everybody to lighten up. And, you know, you have goals. Yes, we have goals. But we don't need to let them weigh us down. We should be able to dance with them. Dance with the goals. It's not quite the same as Dance with the Stars, but anyway, those are my oracle decks 7 guides, 7 council, or 8 actually, or council of 8. And yeah, but I mean, there's lots that I'm leaving off. One of the interesting things to me as I did this with the tarot and the oracle is some of these oracles, like the angel cards I've had for eons, maybe even longer than the medicine cards, you know. So these are old, kind of tried and true decks, whereas the tarot were mostly newer. There's nothing in it that was really old, tried and true. So, I mean, I do use the RWS Centennial heavily. But what I've been into the RWS again, well, it's been some years now. So, you know, 5 or 6 years. So I can't knock that. That's a fair amount of time. But I didn't start until I got that little deck. I had pretty much put the standard size away. But anyway, yeah, there it is. Again, this hashtag comes to you from Ouroboros, the channel Ouroboros. And Natalia over there has some wonderful, I'll put a link to this, what started this tag. I'll put a link to that video. But check out her channel in general. She has just been shooting off all kinds of interesting tags, interesting things to respond to. So just take a look at her whole channel and see if there aren't a few things that grab your attention and get you thinking and get you pulling out decks. Yeah, lots of fun to be had over there. Take care, everybody. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you again soon.